Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. How you doing, guys? Hey, I just want to take a couple of minutes of your time. And the message this morning is going to be a short, quick message, concise, right to the point. And that message is around, the murmuring of the people of Israel. And what I mean murmuring, complaining, whining, spewing out this bitterness and this regret around what's going on, with the economy, what's going on with, the plague, and why the plague is still here. And, if we would all just do what Pharaoh asked us to do, again, if we all would do just what Pharaoh asked us to do, let me say it in a better way. If we would all just do what the government is asking us to do, then we wouldn't be in so much regret. We could go back to the way things used to be. And today, give you the classic example. Today is Mardi Gras, one of the most paganistic, vile celebrations on the planet. Paganistic, vile, V-I-L-E. When I say vile, you're talking about everything you can think of goes on this particular day in this particular city and the surrounding cities. I'm talking about the elevation and the glamorization of homosexuality, the glorification of drunkenness, the glorification of incest, the glorification of women bearing their nakedness, showing their titties, running and falling and pushing each other around for tokens, for beads, for idolatrous ornaments, you name it, children running into bars, people sick and vomiting all over the place, just debauchery on debauchery. Yet, I heard Israelites this morning saying, lost. If you guys shouldn't be complaining because, only why we're not having Mardi Gras is because you guys won't, mask up. Because if you had masked up, then things wouldn't be what they are right now. So this is their word, stop your bitching about it. That's a sick mentality. That is a very sick mentality. Isaiah said it well. He said that the ox knows its master and the ass knows its owner. But my people, your people, the people of Israel are confused and they don't have a clue. And so when you look at Israel, Judah right here, what are most of them saying? Let us go forward. Let us go back. Let us go back to the way things used to be. Because if we just follow Pharaoh, they could be much better. Don't listen to the prophets. Don't listen to the messengers who say, come out from among them. This is the one opportunity, probably the last opportunity, I might add, that Yahuwah has given us to separate ourselves, to come together as a people. Probably the last opportunity. And just as our ancestors did, the rebellious ones among us, when Yah took us out of out of Egypt the last time, they're repeating the same behaviors again. That's why he said, my people don't know who they are. Here's a better way to say it. Let me break it down in a language that you understand. Those who forget their past are doomed to repeat it. That's all Yah was saying. When he said, the ass knows its owner, the ox knows its master, but my people don't know who they are. In other words, they forget themselves. They forget themselves. It's the same thing. That is the exact same thing when they say those who forget their past are doomed, condemned, judged to repeat it. And that's where we are today, Judah, Israel. Here Yah has opened up a perfect window for us to come out, and so that Yah can judge them as he judged them before in Israel. But what are some of our people doing? The majority of our people doing? Moaning and groaning to go back to the way things were. And unfortunately, this is not the first time for our people. Yah makes a mass movement. He destroys our oppressor. At least he puts them in a place to be destroyed. He is destroying our oppressors. And what do the people do? They don't want to follow the messengers. They don't want to follow the true prophets. You follow me? They hate the truth, especially when the truth, uncovers or reveals their lies. They hate it. You follow me? So whenever that truth is there, if that truth uncovers their lie, I don't want to hear none of your truth. I don't want to hear nothing about the Bible, using their word. I don't want to hear nothing about that. I don't want to hear nothing about religion. Any excuse will do when they want to go back into their debauchery. And again, it's sad to say, but this is a repeated behavior that has been expressed and acted out by Judah decade after decade after decade. I mean, you got to think about it. Pharaoh, this government, put crack cocaine in our communities. Intentionally put crack cocaine in our communities. But with one purpose, to exploit our people, to fight an unjust war, to support, wickedness around the world. So that they can buy the weaponry that they needed to have to fight an unjust war, to slaughter so-called colored people around the world. They put crack cocaine in our communities and destroyed the infrastructures in our communities. Our communities are still suffering from that to this very day. Our men, women have children now who are mentally challenged. Most of them can have zero comprehension skills. They can read but cannot comprehend. Many of our young adults. Why? Because they were victims of bodies that were wrecked by crack cocaine. These women were out here selling their bodies, doing anything to get hold to that crack pipe. And the men as well. And you can see the devastation. Look at the prison system. The prison population grew from something like 300,000 in 1975 to 1.2 million by the end of 1995. And needless to say, it was our men and women who were the increase in that population, and most of it was due to crack or crimes related to crack cocaine. And the enemy put that in our communities. The same governmental system, the government did it. And yet our people are moaning and seeking Yah in these wicked synagogues and churches, seeking Yah so you can heal us, so you can get rid of the plague, so things can get back to normal, so we can go back to be under oppression, because under our oppression was a lot better than separation, isolation, and redemption. How sad, how mentally retarded the mindset is, how corrupt that mind has to be. For you not to clearly see the hand of Yah destroying your enemies, to bring you forth, to free you from the yoke of bondage, the hatred, the racism, the enslavement, the rape, the pilfering, the stealing, the incest, the pedophilia, all of the homosexuality, all these things, killing innocent babies in these wicked abortion clinics, or giving them drugs, our women drugs, to stop them from reproducing, when the flower of the woman is her children. And yet, they cry out to Pharaoh. They cry out against the prophets, the messengers, to say, we want to go back. We want things to be like they used to be, because we were better off that way. And how sad it is on this day they have to bring this forward. But y'all put it in my heart to share it. Maybe y'all put it in your heart to share this. But y'all brought it forward. He said, tell my people. Tell them of their sins. Warn them of their wickedness. Warn them of going the way of the heathen. Broad is the path, as Yeshua said. Wide is the gate that leadeth unto destruction. And he said, and he's talking to our people. He was talking to Israel when he said this. But many of you guys are going to go that way. No difference. Same behavior. Over and over repeating itself. The epitome of retardation. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Y'all said the only result you're going to get is the same wickedness that you seek. You're just going to bring it into your home, to your own bodies, and to your own families. If you don't hearken, if you don't come out, and many of our people refuse to come out to this very day, as I gave you a couple of examples already. And you heard me talk about this yesterday. They're opening up these churches with one thing in mind: to lead the blind off the cliff. What do I mean by that? To use these pastors, these evangelists, these elders to encourage you to do something that could harm you for the rest of your life. As crack destroyed us in the 80s and 90s, whatever this is that they're so determined to target us and get us to take, will do the exact same thing in the years to come if Yah tarries. The exact same thing. You liable to see your children coming out, not only retarded, but deformed, their bodies being weak and broken down, their passion for life being destroyed, their ability to reproduce eliminated. Oh, they've done that before. Go back and study the eugenics movement. Against our people, I might add. So this is not a new thing. This is an old thing revisiting on the people of Israel as a judgment, because we refuse to accept deliverance. And again, what is deliverance? Coming out from among them, being separate. Love not the things of the world, the things of Pharaoh. Tell him to keep his leeks and his onions. But as I bring this message back in a little bit, you know how DFG is going to do it. He's going to go to the history book. I'm going to go to the word, and I'm going to show you how it happened then as it is happening today. I just wanted to kind of help you connect the dots, my brothers and my sisters. Here we go. Go to Exodus chapter 16. Praise Yah. And they took their journey from Elim, and the assembly of the children of Israel came to the wilderness, which is between Elim and Sinai. And on the 15th day, how interesting that is, of the second month, that's like yesterday, February 15th, okay, all right, I'm just saying, that's how it reads here. And after the departing out of the land of Egypt, and the whole assembly, everybody of the children of Israel murmured, complaining against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. Because what is the wilderness now? Quarantining, masking, social distancing, unemployment, no jobs, no celebrations, no festivals, no parties, etc. And the children of Israel said unto them, "Would Elohim we had died by the hand of Yeshua in the land of Israel." In other words, I'd rather live the way we used to live and continue being slaughtered, shot down by the police, killed, dying from all the filthy food and water the poison they put in our bodies. I'd rather have that than deliverance. Sad, sad, sad. But this is what they said, and this is what they're saying. And the children of Israel said unto them, "We would to Elohim we had died by the hand of Yahuwah in the land of Israel, Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots." In other words, we had our pork and we had our catfish, our oysters, our crawfish, our shrimp, all of that filth. And when we did eat the bread to be full, we didn't care what we were consuming, long we could be gluttonous and have all we want of it and have access to it. "For you have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill the whole assembly with hunger." Then Yeshua said unto Moses, "Behold," Yahuwah said unto Moses, "Behold, I will rain bread from the heavens for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my Torah or not." Yah said, I'm letting all these things happen. I'm saying, yes, I'm going to pull you out. I'm going to break down this economy. I'm going to destroy their resources. But don't you dare take that stimulus. And if they're stupid enough to give it to you, you take it and you invest it. You put it aside to prepare for provisions in the time of less, as Joseph told our ancestors when he was given the authority to be over the assets of Egypt. But that's not what our people want to do. But Yah said, I'm letting this happening right now. Let me read it to you one more time. He says, I'm going to give you manna for them. So I'm going to give you just a little bit, just the basic essentials, the things that you need to survive. Not all the availability of all the other resources that were killing you. That's why you have a food shortage right now, my brothers and sisters. You think this is just coincidental? You think that Yah's destroying these crops, for nothing? You think it's all about the heathen, that he's taking things from the heathen? No, he's cleaning us away from these heathens. Because he knows our lust and our desire is to go after the things that they trained us up on. The garbage, the incest, the filth, the abominable things. He says, so I'm going to pull this thing in so the elect of my people will understand how to break away and get accustomed to the heavenly food, clean water. And he says, and behold, I will rain bread from the heavens for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my Torah, in other words, whether they will walk in the word or not. In other words, are they going to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of mine, or are they going to continue to seek after the way of the heathen, as their ancestors done? And if you know anything about this, Yah, if you read the rest of the story, Yah destroyed them. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of them for this very reason. Wanted to go back to the old ways, the ways of Pharaoh, the ways of the government. Wanted the government. You know that meat, those pots, that's stimulus. They said we'd be better off with a stimulus than learning how to be independent. Learning how to grow our own food, learning how to farm our own land, learning how to barter within our own community, Israel, Judah. No, rather than do that, we'd rather go back to old ways and be enslaved and continue to be an insult, a proverb, a negative one. The most hated people on the planet. Why? Because we try to attach ourselves to a pig. And a pig knows one thing, go back to its own slop of mud. We tried to acclimate ourselves under dogs, but the dog only knows one thing, to go back to its own vomit. That's why the judgment has been on us for 400 plus years, and counting, I might add, because of rebellion, because of stickness, hard-heartedness. Instead of going back, he said, I'm going to try you. He said, I'm going to see if they're going to get into the word or not. And guess what our ancestors decided to do, many of them? They chose not to. And they stayed their asses out in that wilderness for 40 years instead of 40 days. And they died off all of the corrupt adults. Everyone that was over 20 years old, Yah destroyed them out there. And it was only their children who inherited the land, because their children were able to be retrained by men like Moses and Aaron and Joshua and Caleb, the messengers. But the rest of them, he destroyed right there. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed right here. For no other reason. Because they love the ways of wickedness. The ways of the heathen. And they rejected the word of Yah, the Torah. But he said right now, as he told them, I'm going to test you. Judah, we're being tested. We're being tested, Judah. Yah is testing us. Go back and read. 16 and 4. He said, I'm going to see. I'm going to see if you're going to accept the word of Yah or not. And I'm going to end this message the same way I try to end most messages. Even if I don't speak it, it's in my heart. You guys can do whatever you want to do. But as far as me and my house, we're going to do as our brother and Uncle Joshua said. We're going to serve Yahuwah. Let it burn, Yah. Destroy it. And destroy every heathen, or even the heathen among us. Judge them as you judged them before. Because as long as that corruption is among us, our children don't stand a chance. And as Yah removed the elders then, the wicked ones among us, to save the little ones among us, he's going to do it again. So you're going to have to decide, Judah. Do you want the old way or you want Yah's way? Talk to you later. DFG. Bye now.